Why would you say so many organizations kind of over focus on leadership and maybe under invest in systems? I mean, what is the right balance to, if you walk in somewhere and you're like strong leadership, poor systems, how do you kind of help them like create some equilibrium there?
Well, if you have poor systems, you have chaos. I don't care if you've got a great leader or a terrible leader. If you've got a terrible leader, it's worse. If you've got a great leader, it's a little better. But if you don't have systems to manage what's occurring, then you have chaos. So it's not hard to get someone to realize that, hey, let's work on your workflows. Let's use tools that exist out there and let centralized comms relate to that and all of that. See, the problem in a small company, it's one thing because it's you and 8 people, right? It's another when you've got 150 people and now you've got layers, right? And so the challenge is your typical VP has a 2 year or less life cycle, right? So there's always this turnover that's occurring, right? And so if you don't have a good system, then that turnover creates more chaos. See, the interesting thing about the military, which is the first element in my head that had to stick in order for me to see my model, your leadership rotates every 2 to 4 years, and that's designed, right? And so the military is a system that produces great leaders. It's not great leaders make the military work. It's the system creates great leaders because it's designed to operate without the leader.
Yeah. Oh, that I love that. That's definitely a goal for me because, like, we're looking not to make this all about me, but, I mean, I wanna build this business so I can sell it, and I know that it has to run without me, right? So I have to have those pieces in place that it's not everyone turning to me, so this is really timely for me, I appreciate that. Um, what are some, for a growing business such as myself or other small businesses, what are some early warning signs that maybe the environment is becoming unwieldy? Like what behaviors or what is happening that someone should be, if they're not that self-aware, what should they be looking for and being like, okay, I need some help. We need to do this differently.
Has a particular conflict point arisen more than once? Right. I mean, that's your clearest sign. You're like, I know we talked about this 6 months ago. Right. It should never come up again. Right. And what that means is you don't have a system that documented that, recorded it, created a policy and procedure around it, an SOP, and you're driving it forward. Like, right. And so that's your clearest sign.
Yeah, if it's happening frequently or it continues to happen. Okay. And how can a as a founder or a leader, kind of swing, avoid the swinging between being a micromanager and being too hands off? How can I would imagine it's probably setting it up in the systems and the processes, but what could be put in place to kind of get that, again, getting that nice balance where you're not being overbearing, but you're also not just leaving them alone?
Yeah. I mean, therein lies, it does. It's a very, very, very fine line. Right. And so coming back to that, why are they working? Where's the ownership for them? Right. I've always told employees if I have to micromanage you, I'm micromanaging you right out the door because I don't want to micromanage you. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the management infrastructure that I can layer my leadership on top. I like to look at it this way. It's like baking a cake, right? You have to start with the cake before you can put on your icing. And if your cake is all bad, nothing you're going to do with that icing is going to fix it, right? It's just not, right? So you have to have a good, strong foundation. You've got to have a solid cake. And I call that management, right? You've got to build your management infrastructure so that you can then layer on your leadership.